Excited. Yes, I learned a word, anxiety yesterday. Yes.
क्या हो गया? हो गया? नहीं? नहीं? हो गया? Okay.
This is very annoying.
What's annoying about this?
This and that I have to put this down, and you expect me to act natural.
I had one coffee in the morning. You know, the issue was the salon doesn't open until 10:30, hence the delay. It's a technical issue, but it is a real issue for men too.
How do you guys feel?
Little nervous.
I'm nervous and I'm very excited.
ये उसकी तरह तो नहीं हमारे जैसे प्ले होते हैं तो जैसे बच्चा आता है प्ले में कुछ बोलने तो माइक खत्म हो जाता है VLC के हर प्ले में ये होता है
That's the time when I was also questioning a lot of things. I was questioning a lot of knowledge or a lot of messages which I was given in school, right? And that's the time I thought that maybe just to get curious about it. You know, I mean, when people tell me that, oh, you're so passionate, and I kind of take a step back because I wouldn't say I was passionate about education. I was very curious about education, and I was like, what can I do? How can I contribute? And how can I learn? And you know, so when I look back, the starting of VLC was not this big grand vision and with a big mission. I was just 33 at that time and someone was very lost and wanting to heal. So for me, when I look back now, the starting of VLC was an expression of my inner child healing, which very soon became a healing space for the entire community. Right, the parents, all the adults, basically the parents and the teachers, because anytime they would come in, they'll be like, I wish I was a child again.
You know, the story begins in 2015. We were in Bali for about a month on a yoga teachers training program. It was the two of us, and we were both training to become yoga instructors. And we came back feeling very energized and, gung-ho about, okay, we're going to be that yoga training, teaching couple. In Karachi, we're going to open up a wellness center, a holistic center. And then I felt pregnant. I was just not in that, frame of mind to take that further. The conversation then steered in many other directions. In 2015 only, around like October, November, Muzaffar comes to me and says that, I think I'm going to delve into the education space. And that was a shocking thing for me because I asked him that you're a finance guy. You're not an educationist. You don't have any background in education. He said, well, I learned. Let's see where it takes me. And even though it wasn't a very revolutionary idea that he was trying to, achieve in this space, but I really admired his curiosity. And I think that really kind of helped me kind of back him up endeavor of his. We tried to approach a few people. We went to a number of teachers, a number of veteran teachers who've been in this space for like 30, 40 years. Try to pick their brains, ask them questions. What's missing in our space over here currently? What do you want to see different? So we kind of got our research done, we collected our data. But I think one of the things that was missing in everybody's answers were that they were approaching education in a very traditional way. And what Muzaffar had in mind was a completely radical idea, which was to change this traditional thinking.
I'm not from the education field. I didn't even know how to make a lesson plan, right? I knew what I wanted in terms of the outcome, but the entire process in itself was like hiring teachers to meeting parents, and sometimes I look back and I was like, whoa, these parents really trusted me. Like, I mean, what did I tell them which kind of made them trust and put their child in the school? Because I wasn't from the field at all. I didn't have big claims. The last time I stepped in a school was when I was in a school.
The seed of VLC started from there. Was to make a dent in the education space of Pakistan. And I think it's safe to say that we were one of the first ones to come in with a play-based approach. Anywhere that we would go and we would tell people that we want to, educate kids, get them to learn through play, they would give us that look, okay, so then how are they going to learn? What will they learn? So play and learning for them did not go hand in hand.
We were this crazy startup who was kind of have a reputation of being the rebels in this space. We're talking about things like we've come and taking inspiration from Finland. Here's this guy who's 33 who's not been in the education space and he's making these big claims. Talking about the concepts like self-esteem and sense of self and safe spaces for teachers and all of those things, right? And there was a rip snowball effect that, we started attracting a lot of like-minded parents. And when those parents were coming in, they were starting to recognize that, our kids are learning and loving coming to school. And this was the first time people started talking about my child doesn't want to leave school. And that was for me the biggest compliment, right? I always often think about what is success for us. And that felt like a very fulfilling, joyful moment where the kids felt so safe. Some parents tell me that, over the weekend when the kids are, not listening to them, they threaten them that we're not going to send you to school tomorrow, right? And that for me is like, whoa, we're doing something right. As if like we've changed the definition or the mind frame or the mindset. When you think of school, we're not thinking of, restrictions and rigidity and, just the strict discipline and now we're looking at fun and exploration and discovery and connection.
Having no idea of the education system in Pakistan because I haven't grown up here, but I knew what I wanted for Amar, and that's what kind of brought me towards VLC. I think 20, 30 kids essentially when we first started, that's it. And the vibe was very much like home because there was a lot of parents are still there, teachers are coming and going. You don't know which teacher is of which class because every teacher was in every class. There's teachers who have their babies with them, taking a class and teaching a lesson while they're holding their own child. It was very crazy and chaotic, but it felt very real and like we're at a place where our kids are going to learn something and we are there to witness that.
When I entered the Hyderabad campus, it was beautiful. It was so calming to see the walls without lots of things on it and lots of clutter over there. So I instantly liked it and I opted for VLC. And I knew that I want to bring my kids over here too.
And I get this unknown call and जो मैंने randomly pick कर लिया, usually I wouldn't have, but I picked it up and then somebody says that, so is this Fatima Ubaid? मैंने कहा हाँ, तो उन्होंने कहा कि this is मुजफ्फर बुखारी, आपने मेरा नाम सुना होगा. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा ओके कौन कहाँ से? उन्होंने कहा नहीं, haven't you heard of VLC, Veritas Learning Circle? I said no. And he said, okay, I am Muzaffar Bukhari, it's my school. And when can I meet you? I said, look, I'm not in Karachi right now. I'm traveling and I will not be there for another 2 weeks. He said, okay, can you save my number and then I'll get in touch. Do you have a date? When are you coming back? और मुझे पता था कि मैं कब आ रही हूँ मगर मैं कोई ख़ास इंटरेस्टेड नहीं थी क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि मैं क्यों उनके बारे में जानती हूँ, ये क्यों मुझसे इस तरह से बात कर रहे हैं और इनको मेरा नंबर किसने दिया है.
In the beginning, we didn't have a front desk person and I would like take up phone calls, and pretend to be, the receptionist and be like, oh, you're coming to VLC, these are the directions and I'm answering questions and then the parents will come and they don't know that they've spoken to me and I'll just be like, oh, so I'm the principal and, have a completely different conversation, not telling them you just spoke to me on the phone.
I had never worked in a startup or I had never worked like that in a business which was new. So for me to even form our business together, our own little company together was a very unique experience because starting from serving tea and dinners in our lounge to then going out property hunting because we had no idea how to go about this. So the next step for us was to find our property and a very strategic question came to our minds. Are we going to open in DHA or are we going to go, as they say over here, across the bridge? So strategically, we decided that we will open up VLC in PCHS. One of our first properties was in Hyderabad. We got into a legal battle with somebody over there and we had to unfortunately leave that place. So the next property came about by fluke. I just happened to sit on Zameen.com. I'm very, good with these things. I will sit on the computer, find out, 10 resources, 10 people to guide you with one thing, and I will come up with an answer quickly. Yeah, I'm very solution oriented that way. So I went on Zameen.com, randomly selected a property and called up the agent. We went on a tour, and that was the beginning of our red gate.
There's this red, huge gate, and nobody there. And I go inside and I go in the office, the front office, and then this person comes in, and I wasn't expecting this person to be a young person. He comes in and he's wearing red sneakers and a yellow, very bright yellow sweater. And he said, "Oh, Fatma, I'm Muzaffar." He started talking about, it wasn't very clear, but he gave me some vague idea of के VLC है, एक school है, ऐसे start हुआ. मैंने अभी 1 साल पहले start किया है. And he started talking about the school, and I was wondering if he's ever going to ask me कि मैं कहाँ से आई हूँ, क्या करती हूँ. मगर उन्होंने नहीं पूछा. So he said, "I want you to come and be here." At that time I was kind of doing different projects in different schools. So I told him that I have a very busy schedule and I will not be able to come. One thing that clicked, resonated with me, I wouldn't even say resonated, I would say that appealed to me was that he said something about inclusion.
So when I came in, I came from a super structured organization, and all I wanted to do was to come to a place which was more organic, like the way you guys are describing, and that's exactly what I was looking at. When I came in, I was really awkward. I kind of felt like I didn't belong here because I was looking to get structured, unstructured and organic, and all I could do was wanting to be controlling. I wanted to be like, oh my God, how is this done? Like, look at that teacher, like literally has the baby with her, but how is she going to take care of the other kids while she's taking care of her kids? And look at the paint everywhere. And that was what my first feeling was of once that happened. And I felt like they do not know what they're doing, but they were just doing with whatever instinct that came up with them. And from then on to now has been a long journey of how unstructured we've become, organic in our own ways, feeling comfortable. Like when I think of any VLC event, I think like sitting comfortably on the chatai and making that part of the community. And that's how VLC has become me, and I've become part of VLC.
I don't know what happened after that. He didn't share what he wants me to do. I just automatically knew what my role was. I knew what I would want to do. I had worked in multiple places with very, very, very strong structure, strict policies, protocols for everything. And this person here is creating a space for teachers to be the way they want to be, to enjoy what they like doing. Subtly training them, and then also encouraging them to take different roles, giving them a variety apart from just teaching, giving them multiple leadership roles, and everybody feeling important. Although that was a very, very small team, it was just 18 people at that time, and everybody felt important. Everybody felt that they are participating in startup to make it and take it in a big way on the horizon of education. That's what I felt, that there was a lot of ownership, and there still is. But that little tiny group, and I had to be very careful because they were very close to Muzaffar, the teachers, the people who were working in the administration, the finance people, and I knew who are the people I would get along with initially and who would be the people who would give me a difficult time. I have my own way of penetrating in the system, and he had his own way of pulling me into the system. It wasn't decided, it wasn't a coordination, but it was like a coordinated synergy that we created. And so before the summer break, I knew what the school requires, I knew what he wants, he knew what I could do. And although we didn't discuss initially, except the opening of grade 1 was the only discussion we had, that we are going to start grade 1 in August 2018. That will be our first grade 1. and we need to find a teacher, we need to get the school ready. We got the first yellow gate at that time, and we will get the school ready, we will get the furniture ready, we want to keep it different from the preschool furniture, and we want to develop a curriculum. And then of course I knew that once we have grade 1, so there's no stopping. We can't just leave the children and, okay, grade 1 ho gaya, jao, find another school. We knew what we were getting into. We knew that we would look for a lot of people with a lot of potential, and somehow, I don't know if it is VLC or Muzaffar or the wishes that everybody has for him, that we somehow find people who just fit in like a glove in VLC.
Our secret sauce is our culture.
But you just met me like a month ago. How do you know I'm going to do it? I don't know if I'm going to do it.
क्या करें, नजर ना लग जाए. तो मैंने कहा कि नहीं, इंशाल्लाह कुछ नहीं होगा.
We are all crazy here. Only crazy people can be at VLC.
The father comes up and says, AC off karo. Like, what do I do?
The challenge is that there have been many sacrifices that we have had to put in.
And I was like mesmerized because in all the schools I've taught, the children are not supposed to paint on walls or paint on floor, and they had paint all over, and they were like totally immersed in whatever they were doing.
So coming here, and people would wonder, why is she always here? And like, I mean, don't you have a home to go to?
कोविड आ गया जिसकी वजह से पाकिस्तान बंद हो गया.